Hey, everybody, we're live right now at Pace Studios in New York with Karl Denson's Tiny Universe. Karl Denson and Tiny Universe, thank you for being here, man. This is great. Yeah.
So you're over there and the camera's over there?
Yeah, so the internet is over there. Like the Facebook is there, so it'll be playing out that direction, and then we will chat this way in between each of the songs. If you want to talk directly to the internet, just stare right into that camera.
I will.
Yeah. Thanks for doing this, man. We've been talking with Kevin about, we've been trying to make this happen for a long time. I'm a big fan of your band. This is awesome, man. I'm really happy this is happening. So congratulations still, because Gnomes and Badgers came out fairly recently on Seven Spheres Records. We're going to hear 4 songs from it today. Can you tell us what's coming up first?
This is called I'm Your Biggest Fan.
All right.
Kick it. We were late out smoking, talking, you can't style at the bar. Second trip to the powder room, I came walking back, boom, there you are. Must have neutralized my defense, straight into my confidence. Clever how you kill the urge to flee with an old picture of you and me. The fog was lifting from the edges of a swollen brain. Out of the mist, temptation turns into a summer rain. So smooth, fine and tall, with a walk that says it all. There's someone on the line, it might just be a sign. Hey, wait, what's the rush? Don't you see, I think that you're the man. But don't worry, I'm not crazy, I'm your biggest fan. I'm your biggest fan. I said goodbye, then I worked my way back over to my chair. Sure enough, a few minutes later, I looked up and you were there. Jet on my trick, one of my crew, continuation of a rendezvous. How winds from the ocean roar and the sea cries falling from the shore. They're all oblivious to the growing tension in the air. It's your advantage, and you ain't playing fair. I pulled out, hail a cab, let the crew pick up the tab. As I render my address, you open up the door. Hey, wait, what's the rush? Don't you see, I think that you're the man. But don't worry, I'm not crazy, I'm your biggest fan. I'm your biggest fan. Coming soon. My blood is pumping like a werewolf at the glowing moon. My ears are back, my ears just won't behave. A little kiss, a playful bite, close the door and wait. You know they say the guy can give you anything you want, but make sure what you want is what you need. And as I closed the door, you smiled and said, I still think you're the man. And don't worry, I'm not crazy, I'm your biggest fan. I'm your biggest fan. I'm your biggest fan.
Yeah.
Good job.
Yeah.
Bye.
Oh, man. Man, thank you guys for doing this. This is exactly how I want to be spending my Wednesday early afternoon. This is outstanding. Thanks for coming and doing it.
Thank you very much for
Yeah,
having
man. So can we talk a little bit about this? I mean, you guys sound great together. Can we talk about this iteration of Tiny Universe and how it relates to the album that's out right now, how it relates to Gnomes and Badgers?
Well, we've got a couple of interlopers. Sitting in for David Vies, we got Rashawn Murph over here.
All right.
And sitting in for Chris Littlefield, we have Mark Ingram. And Mark plays with DJ's band and drinks with him on a regular basis.
Keep this machine well oiled. It's a well-oiled machine.
Yeah, exactly. And then these guys are always here. Hey. Chris Stillwell has been here forever, as has Zach Nager. We're 3/5 of the original Gray Boy All Stars, and circa 1993. And then DJ's been here like 8 years.
8 years.
8 years now. Seth's been here 3. 3.5. Yeah. So,
all right.
And this is the band. This is really the band. And so this is kind of where we're going right now.
Yeah, can you talk a little bit about how the production process of Gnomes and Badgers? I know it sounded like, just from what I've read on the internet so far, that it was started and then pulled back, like two steps forward, one step back, kind of a thing.
Yeah, you know what? It's part of it was just me learning how to write lyrics and vocals, so and song forms in that way. Because as a jazz guy, you grow up your whole life just thinking melody, and then all of a sudden you decide to start singing, and then you have to start writing lyrics, and then you decide they have to actually try to be good, and so it's a long process, but I feel like we really got there this time. And so it's like the Gnomes and Badgers is kind of the third round of recordings, and only 3 songs made it from the original set. So the last time we went in the studio, we knocked out 8 tunes, which was really good, and kind of feel like that's the way we're going to go forward with it.
Well, I'm glad you made the decisions that you did make. I'm enjoying the album a lot. I think it was a collection of excellent decisions. So, and thanks for coming and bringing them here today and playing in this little tape room for us today.
Sir.
We appreciate it. Can you tell us what you guys are going to do second off Gnomes and Badgers?
We're going to do Can We Trade? A little piece of you for a piece of me. Boom, baby. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Do you know what it is? Then tell me how it is. Tell me about the war going on inside. Tell me about the feelings. Is it possible to win? Never break, but always bend. All I know is we're gonna be alright if we stick together. Stick together. Stick together. Stick together. Do you know what it is? Then tell me how it is. Do your hands or fingers bleeding? The mascara on your eyes. Yeah, you used to draw in lines. All I know is we're gonna be alright if we stick together. Stick together. Stick together. Stick together. Can we trade? Can we trade? A little piece of you for a piece of me. Can we trade? Can we trade? Can we trade? Can we trade? A different point of view and a remedy. Can we trade? Do you know what it is? Then tell me how it is. How far can you see from the top of a mountain? Or what's it like way up there? Is it cold? Is it fair? All I know is we'll be better off together. Stick together. Stick together. Stick together. about the blues and the little sing. Tell me about the memories. There's a face who we all know, one for real and one for show. All I know is we'll be better off together. Stick together. Stick together. Stick together. Can we trade? Can we trade? A little piece of you, one piece of me. Can we trade? Can we trade? Can we trade? A different point of view and a remedy. Can we trade? Can we? Can we? Can we trade? Can we trade? A little piece of you for a piece of me. Can we trade? Can we trade? Can we trade? A different point of view and a remedy. A remedy. A remedy. Stick together. Stick together.
All right. Thank you. Can we? So that song seems like a good transition into talking about the theme of the record. I mean, it seems like a lot of the. I mean, can we trade a little piece of you for a little piece of me? A lot of the record's about an honest conversation and actually listening to people and empathy and understanding what somebody else has to say instead of just sticking to the thing you already thought and hanging out with the people that already think the same thing that you do. Can we talk a little bit about?
Well, we're just in dark times right now. You know, people are kind of feeling weird about each other. So I think if we spend a little more time, like, listening, actually like talking honestly and listening, like not just reacting, but actually listening and trying to get to the bottom of the answer, where it comes from, that kind of stuff. So we can, have a little more empathy for each other. We can maybe not go down this really, really dark road that we're kind of looking at right now.
And what do you see as, so I mean, clearly songwriting and releasing this album is a powerful way to suggest to people that is important. Are you involved in any, political organization, any kind of like advocacy work outside of music, or is this the main way to get the message out there?
Just trying to say something relevant with my music. So hopefully people hear it and get inspired and, do a lot of talking, outside of this. I actually did my first really political show yesterday. I was on Sirius with Karen Hunter. Yeah. Who's pretty amazing woman. And that was really fun just to get to kind of voice my opinion. But, I think really the most important thing is that people need to listen to each other and stop thinking they know more than each other, before actually knowing what each other knows. And, critical thinking comes into play, and just like empathy, like stop. Somebody's kid dies, you should have empathy before you judge the situation. If somebody's hurting or irritated, like ask them what they're irritated about instead of just getting pissed off.
Yeah.
And get off those damn comment sections on the internet.
Not this comment section. We encourage the internet to be on this comment section right now, but other comment sections.
Negative,
yes.
Like I want to spew all my hate on other people's. Ugh.
Yeah. Yeah. And if you really did believe that, then having a conversation with a living, breathing human being about that particular topic is at least a constructive thing. You're not just puking it out on the internet.
Who doesn't speak the same language. Like, it's just like we just create these little bubbles and we just, then there's no like back and forth. There's no like, when you go to bed at night, you don't have a voice in your head that said something other than what you think that you have to think about. It's like it's fun to actually like have somebody ask you a question that you can't answer and then you have to think about it. Other than, just having people, saying the same exact thing back to you and yeah, screw those guys. Screw those guys.
Spewing out the same programmed answers they've been spewing out instead of actually comparing it to somebody else's opinion and trying to understand what
and never like actually looking for the opposite side. Like you get some news on the internet and instead of like going and trying to disprove it, you just it agrees with your gut feeling, so you just go with it.
Yeah, and reinforces the whole thing, and then you just stay right forever.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, how boring is that?
Or left.
Well. This is awesome. I'm enjoying this session very, very much. We're going to hear 4 songs total today off the album, and we've got 2 more coming up. Can you tell us what's coming up third?
What's the third song?
It's up to you.
Oh, What If You Knew? This is called What If You Knew I'd Let You Down.
Funk.
Y'all ready?
Kick it.
1, 2, 3, 4.
You give me all you got, 'cause I keep it super hot. You keep coming back for more, 'cause I got what you're looking for. I'm the story, I'm the song, I'm the righteous, I'm the strong. You give your heart to me, 'cause I deal in ecstasy. Try again, 'cause I'm the best there's ever been. I'm the instinct, I'm the fear, I'm the laughter, I'm the tear. If I told you a story about the birds and bees, placed within your grasp, your perfect fantasy. Fairy tales happen, just not every day. If I offered your heart's desire, what would you say? If you knew I'd let you down, if you knew I'd let you down, would you keep trying over and over? If you knew I'd let you down. trembling with sweat. I'm the pity, I'm the pride, I'm the moon, I'm the tide. If I told you a story about the birds and bees, placed within your grasp your perfect fantasy. Fairy tales happen, just not every day. If I offered your heart's desire, what would you say, yeah? If you knew I'd let you down, if you knew I'd let you down, would you keep trying over and over? If you knew I'd let you down, if you knew I'd let you down, if you knew I'd let you down, would you still trust me over and over and over and over and over and over and over? If you knew I'd let you down, if you knew I'd let you down, or would you keep playing over and over? If you knew I'd let you down.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. Thank you guys. Oh man, you guys sound great together. Yeah. Can we talk a little about, in addition to these wonderful players who are watching right now, can we talk about some of the other collaborations on the record? Because I've been listening to the record for a little while, and I didn't realize that Adrian was on. I didn't realize that Chuck was on it. And yesterday, that was our session schedule, was Chuck Lavelle followed by Black Pumas, Adrian's group. And so both those guys.
Chuck was here yesterday?
Yeah, and so was Adrian. In totally separate, coincidental things. And so, yeah, man, with Black Pumas.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. So can you talk, in addition to those guys, can you talk about
Adrian,
on the mic?
Adrian was kind of
On that mic?
Adrian was kind of brought in to help produce, and and he played on a couple of tunes, but it was really just to help get the sound together. So he was really part of the first couple of sessions, and only 3 of those tunes made it, but he helped write "Change My Way," and and then I used the Brown Out Horns, which is one of his bands, for some of the other horn stuff that we did. And
Anders was Change My Way also.
And then
right?
Anders co-wrote "Change My Way."
Yeah.
And
he came in here not that long ago. He was here like 2 months ago, maybe, and did one of these.
What's that?
Anders came in here like 2 months ago and did one of these in this room.
Look
also.
at you.
Yeah. And well, we're 100% too, because Lucas Nelson did one of these things as well.
Yeah, exactly. So Anders is like kind of my writing mentor. You know, like I take him my rough ideas that don't seem to make sense to anybody else, and he's pretty good about just like taking the most simple route to get to the root of the problem. And then
he seems like an empath as well, like a very empathetic sort of a dude.
Yeah. And that solo that he plays on that song on "Change My Way" is one of my favorite things on the record, because that whole song is kind of flipped backwards, the groove of it. So everybody was a little bit lost when we did it because it was so kind of backwards funk. And Anders, when he played that solo, came back in the studio and said, "Let me do that one more time. I was totally lost on that." And I said, "That was the best stuff you've ever played." You know, it's like, so that's an Anders Osborne completely lost solo, if for those of you who are interested. And then Lucas was cool enough, man, to take some time out of his really busy schedule, and he was actually traveling. Ended up in San Diego for just a day. He was playing a festival in San Diego. He did his show, he did his set at the festival, and then ran by the studio. I wasn't even there when he did it. Ran by the studio and put that guitar solo on, "Something Sweet," and it was so funny because it was totally different from what I expected, and I love it. But it was like, you know, I had a guitar sound in my head, and what he did was totally way more like rootsy and cool.
He was at Floyd Fest.
I know. I missed him.
He told
Though.
me to tell you hi. I just remembered.
Oh, you
now.
saw him. Thanks a lot.
I just saw him over the weekend. I saw him at Newport.
Yeah, he is a busy guy.
Yeah.
And then Chuck Lavelle, you know, my bro, hanging out with him all the time. So got him on the record. And then and also Ivan Neville, you know,
Right.
is always a good call. So yeah, it was a fun bunch of stuff. And then Alan Evans, of course, smartest guy I know, played some drums on a few tracks.
Cool. Well, dude, I'm loving it. Hopefully, everyone who's checking out this live stream also gets a chance to check out the album, Gnomes and Badgers. We're about to hear a fourth song off of it right now. Can you tell us what's coming up last?
This is called "Can We?" Time to Pray. You know, in this climate of like, you're gonna win so much, you're gonna get tired of winning. You know, but
What an idiot, dude.
But you know, at the same time, it's like these people that are following him really think that there's some connection to God somehow there. And I think if they were actually praying a little more, they might be able to help all of us figure this thing out. So that's what this is about.
Right.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Just got to Austin when I got the news. So tired and hungry, don't know which to choose. What you think, sister? Give me some advice. She took off her shades so I could see her eyes. Everybody acting like this is something new. The tide is gonna pull you down. You better find some solid ground. Kneeling is all I can say. You think it's time to win, but I think it's time to pray. Ran into Shura, I was in her town. Wine and conversation catching up like communion from a paper cup. Everybody, there's always a different point of view. The tide is rising all around. You better find some solid ground. Kneeling is all I can say. You think it's time to win? I think it's time to pray. Hey, kneeling, there's no other way. You think it's time to win, and I think it's time to pray.
All right. Thanks again.
Thanks for having
coming
us.
by and doing this. Have a great show. You're at White Eagle Hall tonight in Jersey
sir.
City. There are a ton of North American shows. You're back in New York City at the Hudson River Park Blues and Barbecue Fest on August 24th. You're playing Pilgrimage in Franklin, Tennessee, September 21st. And then, I mean, there's dates announced all the way through Jam Cruise in 2020. It's all up at karldenson.com. Travel safely, please, between all those dates. And best of luck on Gnomes and Badgers. It's out in the world right now, guys.
Listen to it. It's good.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you, guys.